about y'all, but I'm out.
But did someone tell him that it was too late? Because less than a week after Quando Rondo said he was laying down his flag, he showed up with all the neighborhoods to Lil Pap's funeral dressed in all blue. It's a flip-flop like I've never seen. My man went from gang to getting cold feet to jumping back in the water all in the span of 7 days.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
No, but all jokes aside though, this may actually point to a deeper issue. Quando may have actually had a mental breakdown after seeing his brother die right in front of him. He may be having a hard time making sense of his life right now. At least that's what it looks like, because if you've ever seen The Godfather or any other mob movie, you don't just join a criminal organization and then decide to turn your back on them. A decision like that usually comes with consequences and repercussions. And this tells me that Quando may not have been thinking straight following such a traumatic experience. But by the looks of it, he thought that he was not going out like that. When Quando first came out and said he wasn't affiliated with his old organization, everybody from media outlets to fans to gang members have been saying that you can't just back out like that. I don't even think frats let you off that easy. But apparently he wasn't feeling the love and support that he needed to from his guys.
I think you not love me.
But it just doesn't work like that. And apparently there's a whole process to exiting the organization that you have to go through, and an IG story post is just not enough to sever those ties. But it may be a non-issue now because he went to Lil Pap's funeral dripped out in all neighborhood blue. And this is coming after Quando Rondo said that he was not going to Lil Pap's funeral at all. But he must have had a change of heart and decided that he had to be there for his family. And all the homies were there, so it looks like Quando may have decided to stay down through thick and thin. And that's what a lifetime commitment is. There will definitely be times where you question why you made the decision that you did, but the important thing is that you commit. The commitment is respectable, even if the life he's committing to is treacherous.
Respect.
And there are actually a lot of people out there who believe that he should be given a pass and let out of the game. A lot of young men make the decision to commit their lives to these organizations before they're of age. So when you think about it, maybe he should be given a pass. At the end of the day, we don't even let teenagers sign contracts for themselves or go into the army without parental consent. So by that same logic, a teenager shouldn't be able to commit their lives to a gang either, right?
That makes sense to me.
But the gang world is just not one that's run by contracts or logic, sadly. It's a verbal commitment paid in blood, and oftentimes it is for life. I know NBA YoungBoy probably talked some nonsense back into his protege quick and gave him the camera off and paid him full speech and told him, let's get back to business. Quando Rondo and NBA YoungBoy still have some pressure with Lil Durk and OTF, so now is not the time to put your guard down. Especially just a couple weeks after someone tried to take your life and a couple weeks before you go back on tour and gotta go back to Chicago. But hopefully Quando Rondo does focus more on his family like he said he was gonna do. The more time that he can spend with his kids and off the streets, the less likely something bad is to happen to him or anybody else. And NBA YoungBoy has like 10 kids himself, so he could easily keep himself busy for like the next 20 years without getting into trouble. It's hard to tell why people make the decisions that they do, but we have to make them for ourselves. It might be too late for Quando to back out now, but let's just hope that him and everyone involved can find peace and happiness somehow.